Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how to save money with low income, specifically if you work at a minimum wage job or even if you're a student who's struggling. I think this video is going to be super beneficial. I'm going to be giving you guys 5 steps, practical steps that you can take right now to get started by saving money. Hopefully you guys are excited. Let's dive right into this video. All right, guys, so the step number 1, get crystal clear on your goals. I know a lot of people skip this step. Please don't skip this step because this step is super important because your mindset is what eventually gonna determine your actions, right? If you don't know what your goals are, chances are you're gonna lose motivation and you start spending your money, everywhere, right? If you're not clear on what you want and your motivation behind why you're saving money is not strong enough, then you will lose motivation. So what I want you guys to do is take out a piece of paper, right? And then just write down your 5 and 10-year goals, right? Be generic. You don't have to be clear on your long-term goals. Just identify where do you want to be in terms of finances, right? Do you want to save up money for your first rental property, or do you wanted to pay off your loan, or you want to buy your first house? Everyone has a unique situation. Just identify what your situation is and work towards that goal, right? If you don't have a goal, I think it's super easy. At least for me, if I don't put a goal and actionable steps, I get lost immediately. So identify what your goals are and just work towards them, and keep that in mind as you're saving money each and every single month, because I know some months are gonna be harder than others. And during those times, having a strong goal is what matters the most. All right, guys, step number 2, once you have the goal set out, create a budget. You don't have to use any software, so you can go old school, just write out on a piece of paper your income and your expenses. If you guys want to use some type of software, you can use Excel, or if you're on a Mac like me, I use the Numbers app. Super easy application. You can pull out already customized template and just put in your numbers, your expenses, your incomes, and it's going to show you at the bottom how much your actual income is after your expenses. I'm going to try to leave the link down in the description for this budget template for Mac. I'm not sure if it's gonna work with Windows. If you have Excel, maybe it opens up on Excel. Definitely try it out. But the whole idea, in my opinion, with creating budget is to identify how much you can realistically save. Because the step number 3 is set up automatic withdrawals based on your budget that you just created. For most of the people, I recommend anywhere from 10 to 20% of their money that's coming in. Let's say you get $500 paycheck every 2 weeks. Make sure you set an automatic withdrawal of that 10%. So $50 goes into a separate account. Open a savings account, or maybe open a different checking account that you cannot access easily. Because if you can access it easily like this, then chances are when you see some good deal, you're gonna spend that money. Make sure that account, whatever account you open, make sure that money is not easily accessible. At least that's how I like it. And once you have done that, you have the automatic withdrawals, and you have everything set up. Every time the money comes in, the same day that the money comes in, your money has to be going to the different account. Just pretend that you're taxing yourself. You're paying yourself, right? Just pretend like taxes increased or whatever, and then just try to live off of your 90% of your income and put the 10%. I personally like to go above to like 30 to 40%, especially since I'm young. I don't have that much expenses. If you're young and you don't have expenses as well, I think I highly recommend you guys to put more and more percentage of your income on the side for investing, for saving purposes. I definitely highly recommend you guys to do that. But once you have this step down, step number 2 is identify your 5 biggest expenses. So in most cases, the average person has 5 biggest expenses. Number 1, housing. Number 2, transportation. Number 3, food. Number 4, health. And then last, number 5 is usually clothing. So looking at your own budget and being able to find out your biggest expense and see if you can work around it to cut back on your biggest expenses will help you tremendously to save a little bit more each and every single month. But obviously each and every single person has their own unique circumstances, situations. So I cannot give you guys just one generic answer, but what I can do is that encourage you guys to find out what your biggest expense is and be creative on how you can cut back on that expense. Let's say your biggest expense is housing. For most of the people, housing is the biggest expense. What you can do is that you can try to find a roommate or rent out a room on Airbnb, right? It's super simple to do, but obviously because of the current, situation, doing an Airbnb right now might not be the safest option. But what you can do is that, especially if you're younger, is you can find a roommate who can live with you and help you pay down your mortgage, or even your rent. But basically, this is just to give you guys an idea. I cannot give you guys just one answer for everyone. Just try to be creative and find out some ways to cut back on your biggest expenses. And the last but not least, step number 5 is don't buy stuff that you cannot afford twice. So usually what I like to do is whenever I want to buy something, I look at my current finances and see if I can buy that twice. If I can't buy that twice, then I will not even buy it. Another habit that I have is that whenever I buy something, I invest the same amount to the market. I either buy like index fund, or individual stocks, but I will get to that in a later videos. I'm going to make a whole dedicated video on how I invest, what stocks I invest, what index funds I invest and stuff like that. So if you guys are new, definitely subscribe down below. I'm going to be posting a lot more content on that. But usually whenever I buy something, let's say I buy a $2,000 laptop, what I do is that I invest the same $2,000 amount to the market. I just put it on my brokerage account and invest it on index funds and individual stocks, depending on what I see a potential on certain stocks at that time. Overall, I think this is a really good habit that you can try to implement in your own spending and make it part of your daily spending habits, so that every time you buy something, you invest the same amount to the markets. Obviously, not everyone at a level where they can do that. But what I want to emphasize is that if you want to make a huge purchase like a car or a new laptop or something that you don't necessarily need at the time, I think the good rule of thumb is that if you can't afford it twice, then don't even bother buying it. But that is pretty much it for this video. Those are my 5 best steps that I was able to come up with. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you took away some value, make sure you drop a big like button because it really helps the channel out. And if you guys are new to the channel, definitely subscribe down below because I'm going to be posting more and more videos on personal finance, investing, and stuff like that. If you guys are into that kind of stuff, definitely subscribe down below. And thank you so much for your time. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.